Hello everyone and welcome back again to the restoration of the cabinet of the Telefunken Operette. I hope I'm not boring you with all this work on the cabinet, but yeah, it needs to be done, and I'm just trying to make it as good as possible. I'm really trying to make a showpiece out of the cabinet. In any case, I really hope that this time I'll be able to finish it in this video. The cabinet, as you see here, it's looking quite okay. It has now 6 layers of lacquer in total, 2 layers of colored varnish, and then 4 layers of clear glossy lacquer. And the glossiness is starting to come nicely, see? So first thing I'm now gonna do is here paint the edge, because remember I wanted to paint this edge black, because originally it was also painted black. So I went to the shop, I got some black paint. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, lightly sand the edge and then paint it black. And then afterwards we're gonna put another layer of lacquer, clear lacquer, and then I'll see if that would be the final layer or not. Might be, because if you look at the lacquer right now, it's already pretty shiny. I think it's almost thick enough to be polished. So yeah, we'll see about that later. But for the moment, I'm gonna start by painting the edge here. While the cabinet is drying, we're gonna do some other things. Mainly, I'm gonna work a bit more on the brass. So these are the both brass trims for the side speakers. Left side speaker, right side speaker. And you see there is a piece missing here. It has been cut off somewhere at some point, and this part is missing. And I was thinking about a way to fix this, and yeah, it will be quite impossible to get hold of a new piece like this, apart from salvaging from another radio. So I was thinking about if I could make here something which resembles a bit the original trim and covers up this gap. So that's plan A. And plan B is just to live with it, put it back like this, and yeah, I will cut off the tip here, but then we will just have this piece missing until at some point, maybe in the far future, I find a cabinet in very bad shape or a radio in very bad shape from which I can salvage such a trim. But I'm still gonna make an attempt to replicate a part of this brass trim here. So what I did is I went out and I bought a couple of sheets of brass, and I'm gonna try to bend it in such a way that it's the same shape as this part of the trim here, so that I can put it here to cover up this gap. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I have no clue if it's gonna go well or not. It's quite a difficult thing to do, I guess, because this piece of brass is, see, it's like bent all the way around, and I don't know if that's gonna go well or not. So yeah, let's just give this a go. No idea if it's gonna work. So, and this is what I have so far. I managed to manipulate, let's say, the piece of brass in such a way that it now resembles already a bit closer what it should be. So how I did this is I pinched the piece of brass between two pieces of wood, and then I managed to slowly bend it, and I already got a corner of 90 degrees, let's say, like that. And then I took it out and I slowly hammered the two sides of the brass piece together, so that I get an 180 degrees bend. And then I cut off the remaining part with the rotary tool cutter. And then, yeah, the result is this. Um, Now you see, if you hold it next to the original one, yeah, the match is really quite good. See, it resembles quite well the original piece. The only problem still is that it's much deeper, let's say, here on the bottom side than what it should be. Because basically I need um, the piece from there until the end. So you see, and here, especially here at the end, there is really no edge here at all. There's also no groove in the chassis. So yeah, this needs to be trimmed off a bit more. But see, I mean, I think it's going in the right direction, and I honestly, this might work. Yeah, now I'm just gonna try to trim here the remaining edge off. No idea yet how I'm gonna do this. Still thinking about it, but I'm quite confident that I'm gonna get this. Yeah, I'm going to get this looking quite okay. And then as well, remember in the last video we had our little operetta logo, of which one pin was broken off, and this has also been soldered back. So see, it was this pin that I soldered back. And if you want to solder brass, then you should use silver solder. So yeah, something like this, which is what I used. And it's first time that I'm soldering brass, but honestly, yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna hold. Maybe I should put a bit more solder on it, just to make sure that it holds. But the bond is quite strong. We'll see. Alright, so my funky black edge has been drying, and I think it looks quite good. It has, obviously I masked off the cabinet before I painted this black. But yeah, I'm also quite satisfied with this result. Yeah, so now the cabinet is ready to receive a new layer of glossy varnish. Let's do that, and then we'll see afterwards if it is glossy enough now. I hope it will be, so then I can start polishing. In any case, the varnish, I will apply it still today. It has to dry for 12 hours, so the polishing will be for tomorrow. Alright, here we are again with the brass trims of the side speakers. This was the left one, and this was the broken right one, and this is what I created. That took me a huge amount of work, way too much work just for such a detail, but yeah, I honestly think that I am quite proud of what I made here. See, I mean, the obviously you will always see the here a small line here break because I won't be able to fix these two together. But apart from that, I think it will look okay. And if you don't know that it will be broken, I hope that you won't notice. At least it's better than just having a gap here, right? So I managed to completely, yeah, almost completely reproduce this part from a sheet of brass. And it took me a huge amount of work to get everything here yeah, correctly bent and in the correct shape and size as the original one. See if you compare it to the original. So this is the original one, and this is my reproduction. I mean, it's more than good enough. What is it? The flange here. The size of that doesn't really matter because it goes into a slit in the chassis, so that doesn't really matter that much. That it's not the same shape. It's what is especially important is the thickness and the width, that they are similar, because those are the things that you notice on the outside of the radio. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside so that when I assemble the cabinet again, this is ready to be assembled. Very, very happy with the result here. So here we have the cabinet back. It has been drying overnight, and yeah, everything looks okay, but we have a bit of an issue. On the top, I have air bubbles in the last layer of lacquer. Maybe I made a bit of a mistake when applying the lacquer on top. Um, the sides, however, they are okay, but on top, yeah, it needs to be redone. So I need to sand off the top layer of lacquer on top of the cabinet and then redo it. And yeah, that's a bit of a setback again in this project, but don't worry, I'll get it fixed. All right, so I managed to sand out all the air bubbles. I sanded wet with 400 grit sanding paper, and everything is all the bubbles are gone. So now it's just a matter of applying a new layer of lacquer. I'm only gonna apply it on the top of the cabinet because the rest of the cabinet I'm happy with it and the result is okay. Alright, I soldered here the missing piece that I recreated to the original trim. And see, if you take the other one, I mean, yeah, you're not gonna notice this at all. And I am extremely pleased with how this turned out. You do see obviously a bit of a, yeah, an edge here where the old and the new piece meet. But I think I might be able to even remove the edge here by sanding it, but I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna risk this because it took me so much work to get it like this, and I'm just gonna leave it like it is. It'll look great, I think, and you won't notice it at all. If you don't know that this edge is there, then you won't notice it at all. It's much, much better than just here an entire piece missing. So I'm now going to give all the brass pieces a last clean, like this one, for example, and and these things here. And then I'm going to spray them with some high gloss clear lacquer just to protect them from oxidizing. So that when they are back into the cabinet, then they stay nice and shiny forever, basically. Yeah, so while the varnish of the cabinet is drying, I'm gonna work a bit on the speaker panels. I have here the two side speaker panels. And the grill cloth here is stained quite heavily. It's really quite bad. I already tried cleaning the left one here with the quite common shaving foam trick. I did it twice and it was a lot of dirt that came out, so it cleaned up quite well, but this stain here on top is still there. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get it out. Maybe, but I do have the impression that it's a bit better than it was before, so I might try it again a couple of times until it has come out completely. Not sure if I will get it out. If I don't manage to get it out, I think I'll have to replace the cloth itself. This one is even worse because here we have a same type of staining on top, and here we have this spray paint here at the bottom. So I have no idea if I'm gonna get that out, but yeah, I'll try also the shaving foam trick again with these two. I've been trying to clean the cloth here often. I think I've used like the shaving foam stuff for 3 or 4 times, and it's not cleaning up. I mean, it's better than it was, but you see here the stain is still there. So, and the other one is much worse. Um, so yeah, I just going to replace the cloth. Yeah, and I checked with my mother because she has been making clothes as a hobby for decades, and she has a huge stock of all types of different fabrics and pieces of cloth and leftovers and whatever. And I checked with her if she couldn't find anything in her stock that resembles this cloth that we have over here. And she came up with this. Let me show you. See, she gave me this. And it's not exactly the same, but it does come quite closely. And I think since this is just a speaker grill with a panel with a cloth in the back, and since it's on the edge of the radio, then you won't notice that it's different, right? It has a bit of texture as well, just like the original one, but it's a bit of a different texture. But yeah, it's close enough to not be noticeable. So I'm going to remove here the cloth from both original speaker panels, and then I'm gonna glue these ones in, and yeah, that should look much better than these ones here. Especially the second one, as you see here, it is quite bad. Yeah, as you see, there is also lots of spray paint on the cloth, which I will anyway never get out. As I said, the guy that hit the radio with spray paint should be put in jail. Yeah, so I'm just gonna remove the cloth from both speaker grills, and then glue the new ones in. And see here, this is the cloth when it came out, and yeah, it's on both sides, so you cannot just even swap it over. It's on both sides. It's pretty bad, especially this here. I will never be able to get that clean that up. Yeah, I won't throw them away. You never know. I'll just store them somewhere with leftover components from this radio. But yeah, I think it's a good decision to just replace this with a new type of cloth. And here we are again with the cabinet on the workbench, because the cabinet is finally completely done. After 2 layers of colored lacquer, and I think 4 or 5 layers of clear varnish, glossy lacquer, and then a layer of wax which was applied to it, it's finally completely done and ready for the assembly again. And I have to say, this was a bit of an effort. This was a huge work for me, especially because it's the first time I'm doing something like this. But I am very happy with the result. The varnish came out very nice. The top layer here, I had to sand it off again, like I showed earlier in the video, and I applied a new layer and then a layer of wax, and it's nice and shiny now, just the way I want it to be. Yeah, so very happy with the result, actually. The brass bits that I still need to reassemble on the cabinet, they have been sprayed with clear varnish, and that varnish is still drying, a clear glossy varnish. So I'll still have to wait a bit before I can assemble those trims again. So I'm not gonna bore you on the video with the reassembly of all these things here in the cabinet. So I will do that in the meantime, and you will see the result hopefully in the next video. This took a bit of a time. It took a couple of videos to get it nicely done, but I'm very happy that I took the time to do it like this and to achieve this result. Very happy with the result. So if you're still awake and if you are interested in following along the project, just stay tuned, because in the next videos I will do the assembly and I will do the alignment of the chassis, because that also still needs to be done, and then we are more or less finished. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching and staying with me all this time. We are already at part 8, I think, now. So yeah, so thanks a lot for watching. If you liked the project, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.